Welcome. I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today we are going to take a close look at Jintoro. I put out a video yesterday about him and kind of gave you the overview of what he can do, but there's obviously some issues with using him in Clan Boss. So I wanted to first off go over some of those issues while we're doing some runs, but I wanted to show you guys a variety of runs that we can use him in. And I'm actually really excited about this because what I did is I was using the test server that Raid provided us, and it was a blast to do. And it afforded me the ability to test a bunch of different comps with Jintoro. So I've got a special treat for you guys today. We're going to be running 4 different Clan Boss teams with Jintoro in. So we're going to be taking him into my traditional team, and basically I'm going to replace Rosin with Jintoro. So I'm going to have Vizier extending him, and we'll see kind of how that works. He'll be in stalwart gear. Everybody's pretty tanky. I still have him built with good attack in regards to that, but you'll kind of get to see how he works in that. Then I'm going to take out Vizier, take out the debuff extender, and we'll bring in Godseeker and Neri. Now, we won't do as much damage because obviously we're not keeping poisons up because of Vizier, but I think it should give us a good idea of how Jintoro would work in a traditional Clan Boss team. With Valkyrie and Iron Brago, what Godseeker is going to do is help us last a really long time. And that's really what that point of it is, right? I can bring him into a more typical team with lower thresholds. That's all fine and dandy, but I want to be able to see like his max potential, and that means letting him survive as long as possible, and bringing champions like that help us do that. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like to do it. And then we're going to take him into where I think he's probably going to be best, a couple of unkillable teams. I'm going to show him an easy double Maneater, so you can kind of see when he's going at a 1-1 ratio exactly kind of how good he is, what kind of damage he can do in that sort of team. And then very last, I'm going to take him into a Bateater composition. And a lot of people think that he can't be used in a Bateater composition because of Seeker's turn meter boost. And that's a justifiable concern. But we can. You can definitely do that. And it takes the simplest adjustment. I know Murder Inc. was trolling me a little bit, trying to figure out how this works. He's going to kick himself when he realizes how easy this is to make work. So I'm really excited about all this, guys. It's a lot of Clan Boss videos. We're going to kind of skip around a little bit, so we're not just going to be sitting there watching. I'll play some music underneath, so there's a little bit of tunes going on with everything, but it should be a good time. That's pretty much it. Really, that is it. Let's just jump in and we'll look at the first Clan Boss team here. It's going to involve Vizier as well as the rest of my traditional Clan Boss team. So this is the team right here. Obviously, I'm bringing back in Vizier, so you can see he's in that tough composition. We have Iron Brago for the increased defense. We have Valkyrie for the shield buff. Everybody's in stalwart gear, including Jintoro. So you can see he will last a long time. Now, setting this up, you can see he's going to be right next to me right here. Obviously, it takes a while to set it up because we have Vizier in there. Now, one of the biggest issues with Jintoro is he won't extend his, or he won't use his A3 skill, the decreased defense and weaken skill, if it's already on the Clan Boss. So as soon as we get that up, he never uses it again, which is a real problem because obviously that's one of his biggest hitting skills. It has this cool ability where every 4th or 5th hit you get to get 5 attacks instead of just 1. And it's an incredibly strong ability. You'll see this further down. But it's kind of a waste right here, unfortunately. So, but you can see we're doing the run. We're going in. There he goes. We have decreased defense up. His A1 is solid. It's not a crazy skill. One of the other interesting things, unfortunately, is he gates himself. So he will only use 1 or 2 skills at a time. He'll only use basically 1 skill. He cycles through each one at a time, even though there's cooldown reduction on some of those abilities. But we'll kind of go into that. We'll be able to see that a little bit more later on. But yeah, the setup takes a little bit of time. We're not going to go all the way through it. But here you go. You can see his A2. It does good damage, even in this more defensive built comp. I mean, he has decent attack. I'll show you the builds after this run. He's got over 4,000 attack, I think, and good crit damage. It's not like he does bad jobs, but the numbers aren't insane. He's not like a crazy damage dealer. So here we go. We skip ahead towards the end of the fight here, and you can kind of see everything that we do. I'll just let this part run here a little bit. As we start getting into it, you can see each of the skills as they come up. We have a full debuff bar, so he never uses that A3 skill. So there's the A1, right? That's pretty much it, and nothing else happens. And so he's just going to kind of use that A1, that A2, and they do good damage. You saw we were doing almost 90K, I think, on that A1 hit. We're going to do about 100K with his A2 hit. He definitely can do some good work there. So you see 113,000 damage. Nothing to scoff at when you're trying to do these runs. I was pretty impressed with it. So like the guy can definitely play. He can definitely hit hard. Not an issue there. So that's pretty much it. Let's just jump and we'll show you the damage that we did at the end. So there you go, 63.68 million. I mean, not bad result for me. Like that's pretty good. He did about 10 in there on his own. Not a huge amount of damage for him. But then we have, you can see these are the builds of all the champions here. I don't really think I need to go over them. They're not changed from my simple one key team. That's Jintoro. He had 4,800 defense or attack, 233 crit damage. I mean, he was built well. So he's not a crazy damage dealer. Unfortunately, like I'd love to see him doing much more damage in that, but he's an attack-based champion and a defensive-based comp, so it's not too surprising that he wasn't doing insane amounts of damage. You know, he was pretty much on par with Vizier. Now, if we took him and we gave him an increased attack buff, all of a sudden his damage is going to increase a bunch. Now, this time we're going to bring Godseeker and Neri in. This way we won't have decreased defense or weaken on the whole time. So he's just going to be placing it and he'll get a chance to use his skills over and over again. So as we go in here, you can see we'll actually be able to get that special hit he comes with his A3 where he gets that multiple attack, which is really fun to watch. Actually slow it down so you can see it very distinctly, kind of the damage he does and how it goes about here. So here we go. Again, we're just kind of getting ourselves set up into it, making sure we have all the skills coming at the right and appropriate time. I had to do some changes just to make it all work, but here's his A2 skill. Boom. 54,000. Didn't have decrease in defense and weaken up already, so obviously that hurts it. But here we jump to the end of the run here, and you can kind of see, I think this will give us a better example of the kind of damage that he does. That's his A1, 65K. That is off a counterattack, so it's going to be about 25% less attack damage. So it's not bad damage that he's doing. There you go. There's his A1 skill, 93,000 damage. You can see the animations are really cool on that. All of his animations are really cool. They're very fast, though, so it's very easy to miss them. But he does really good damage with that. You know, obviously, in an attack-focused comp with an increased attack buff, he's going to do even more. But if you can do 100K on a hit, that's pretty solid. So that's his A2 right there. We didn't have decreased defense and weaken up, but we still did 60,000. That's actually a really good number, I think. Decreased defense and weaken, you know, would probably double that damage. And here goes his A3 skill, Oni's Rage, decreased defense and weaken. You can see another 68,000. So he can do decent damage. The issue is he won't use that if it's already up. So he's never, his first hit with Oni's Rage is never, ever going to have that big damage buff to it. Now, one of the things is you notice we went A1, A2, A3. We're back again to the A1 skill. His A2 skill cools down the Oni Rage ability, so it takes it from a 3-turn to a 2-turn cooldown. I mean, that's great. The problem is it's gated by that A2 skill, which is still a 3-turn cooldown. That doesn't get cooled down at all, so we're still going A1, A2, A3. As you can see, there's that A2 skill again. But so there's no way to get that extra hit in like we would really like to. Now here, watch this Oni Rage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. We're doing 140K, 120K on those last ones. That's a 500, 600,000 damage skill right there. I mean, a massive, massive skill. That's why he's so great, is because he will have that one nuke ability every so often. You can see he's doing 9.5 million damage. Same with Godseeker Neri. Same with Iron Brago. He's a good damage dealer. He's not, you know, insane levels, but he's a good damage dealer. Again, attack champion in a defensive comp. That's not going to be to his strong suit, even with all that attack and crit damage. But like, that's not too shabby, I'd say. Not too shabby. But if you can bring in an increased attack buff with him, he becomes way, way better. Way better. So here you can see I've changed him now for this easy double maneater. We've got over 5,000 attack. We've got 220 crit damage or so, 230 or so, 100% crit rate, I believe. So he's really stacked right now for this attack comp. That's basically it. I changed the gear, just showing you Kreela, showing you Septimus, the other champions I'm going to be bringing in. Now Kreela's going to give us an increased attack buff, and we're going to see a huge damage leap because of that. It's going to make it much more significant, the kind of damage he can do here. So as you can see, easy double Maneater. We're going to be unkillable. I don't have to worry about defense. Don't have to worry about HP, both of which are pretty low on him right now. But we just get in here and do this run. So real easy setup. Just kind of jumping into it here. There you go. You can see 67,000. We're already doing more damage. But there you go. Got that increased attack buff up. Now we're going to be able to do some real work here. By the way, Septimus is stacked. Like 6,000 attack, 320 crit damage, like insane numbers. It's pretty fun to watch. Here we go with the A2, 200,000 damage. So you can see in these attack comps, he's way, way better. He's doing 117 on that A1. He's very effective with that. But again, he's gating himself. He used that A2 skill. Oni's Rage got cooled down. It's on a 2-turn cooldown. It is available. This next hit could be Oni's Rage right there. Do you see that? But he's never going to do that unless I manual it. That's the issue with that skill. I can manual it in the setup portion like we're in right now, and we can use it and get some good damage out of it, but otherwise just won't happen. So we're going to skip ahead here in a second. I'll take myself off the screen. We are going to slow down the skill so you can see his A2 when he does that 5-hit combo. You can see that in slow motion. The rest of everything else I think should be sped up a little bit. So yeah, let's go ahead and we can watch here. There you go. Did, what, 13 million damage? I mean, pretty good. He outpaced Septimus, outpaced Kreela Witcharm. The guy can do some work for you. Even with him being gated, even with those limitations, he outdamaged Kreela and Septimus, and I have them stacked. That's pretty good. I mean, like I said, Septimus has 6,000 attack and over 300 crit damage. I mean, insane build. And Jintoro still did more damage than him, and Septimus is one of the best damage dealers in this game. So that skill, when it procs, is still incredibly strong. It just doesn't proc as often as it should, and that's the biggest issue with this kit. He's on a, it's a 2-turn cooldown when he uses his A2. It's a 3-turn cooldown, gets, cools down to 2. He should be using it every other turn, is basically what should happen, but it's not. So now we have him built out. I have him in Relentless gear now. We're going to take him in the Bateater. So you can see 100% crit rate, 257 crit damage, and 4,000 attack. It's lower because the requirements are higher. That 220 speed is really hard to get to, but we do have enough accuracy to make it work. We do have the Relentless gear on, so he's going to get a bunch of attacks in. I finally got some jewelry to put on him, so you can see. And in the Masteries, you can see we went offensive, defensive. Pretty simple stuff here. So yeah, I think he's going to be really effective in this. Well, I know he's going to be really effective in this since I've already recorded it, but I want to be able to show you guys. So this is the Bateater setup, right? Now, we're going to do this the normal way you set up a Bateater, okay? So the very normal way, we get that turn meter boost right there. He goes, and already, right from the get-go, you're going to see a problem. He's going too soon. He's not supposed to be going before the other Maneater or Painkeeper. He has that passive ability that gives him an extra turn meter boost of 50% whenever someone gives him a turn meter boost. So it throws off the timing of this. And you can see we're going to struggle for a little bit as we're trying to get into it. But every time there's a turn meter boost from Seeker, it's a 30% turn meter boost. Well, he's getting 45% because he gets an extra 50% off that. And that's throwing out the tune of this team. And so you might be saying, oh gosh, this is going to be an impossible thing to fix. You're not really wrong. But there's more to it than just that. And I think that's the part that is really remarkable about this build. When you're doing this, the way the Bad-Eater sets up, there's a reason why you can use Relentless on it. Whenever you get turn meter boosts, it feeds into the next attack where he's going first anyway. So you can have more turn meter than not. The only key is making sure that you're not going so fast that you outrun one of your other champions, or that you're going so fast that you don't take that second attack at the right time. So those are the issues, but when it's set up properly, it works just fine. The key is getting into the setup. And here, we're already out of things. You're going to see we have Unkillable up right now, but it's not going to last. And that's going to be the problem. We got that turn meter boost, and look, Jintoro goes again immediately. That's not what we should be doing. We need him going before Seeker does that, not after. As you can see right here, Seeker goes first, not him. He gets that incredible hit. He's doing crazy damage, right? 150k on each of those. But now we are going to be out of sync here. There's that turn meter boost. Jintoro goes again, and he doesn't have Unkillable. Seeker doesn't have Unkillable. We're actually getting debuffs now. At this point, everything is going to fall out of sync. We're vulnerable to stuns. It's a mess, guys. It's a mess. So how do you adjust? How do you fix it out? It's actually a really easy adjustment, like painfully easy. You don't have to change speeds. You don't have to change gear. It's all about the setup, and that's all it is. So here we leave. We start again. So yeah, you can see it was just going to be a mess. So just wanted to show you. That's why people are like, oh, I don't know if we can use Jintoro. But check this out. This is how you get it to work, guys. So everything normal, right? A3 with Maneater. Now normally we'd use Seeker's A2 right here, right? We're not going to. We're just going to use his A1. That's the only adjustment we have to make. We just wait one turn. We do that, everything works copacetic. So we wait that one turn. Everybody goes. We didn't get an extra turn meter boost. That's fine. We're still in sync. Here we go. Seeker uses his A2. We can actually click auto right there. And we did, and now we're good to go. There goes everybody's going in turn order, right? And I think by turn 3 we are fully in sync here. So there we go. There goes Seeker, Painkeeper with the heal. Here goes Oni Rage again. Seeker gets the turn meter boost right there, and now we are completely in sync. There goes Painkeeper. Maneater puts up the Unkillable buff. And notice he has a full turn meter bar, Jintoro does. He goes first, which is exactly what we want. There goes Seeker, there goes Maneater. Everything moves in perfect harmony right now. It's all in sync right there. There you go, you see his A2 go. And the thing is, because this turn meter boost from Seeker, because Jintoro goes first, turn meter boost from Seeker isn't going to affect him. It's just going to lead, that extra turn meter boost just leads into his first attack. So it keeps us completely in sync. It's one of the easiest adjustments to make this work. Painfully simple and very, very effective. Now we're going to go in, I'm going to jump ahead, we're going to speed through some of these runs. I think we are going to slow down each of his hits so you can kind of see how he's gating himself. He won't use Oni's Rage if decreased defense and weaken is already on the clan boss. Pay attention to that. Even when it gets cooldown, and it's going to be available for majority of the fight because we get so many attacks. We basically get 4 attacks for each of those debuffs, which is great. But you will also see the kind of damage he can do when he hits that Oni's Rage. So here you go. You can see that Oni's Rage right there. Boom, boom, boom. 80k on the first one, 170, 165, 140. He's doing a lot of damage with that. I mean, we're talking, I think, 600,000. I think about 600,000 damage on that skill. Maybe closer to 700,000. It's an incredible ability when you can get that kind of damage. Really helpful. It's like bringing in a Turvold. Honestly, it just doesn't happen often enough. And that's the issue with him. So hopefully we get the skill fixed. Hopefully we get his AI fixed. Both those things would be really nice to have happen. But we'll be waiting on Plarium for that. 25.5 million damage. Not too shabby. 64 million damage on Ultra Nightmare with the Bateater comp. I mean, just to give you guys an idea, I've never been able to get that damage to a 1 key level. So that's about what I was doing when I had Thane in my lead spot. So that's pretty much on par for what I would do, maybe even better. He's incredible for this. Even not getting those Oni's Rages a lot, this dude can hit. This dude can hit hard. Only 4,000 attack? Yeah, but I had him in Relentless gear, right? So there's so much leeway to play with this guy. He's going to be very, very good. If you're using like a Bellinor as your lead, I think he's a good replacement for that. He's a really good option as a clan boss champion. I think he's going to be great in the Bateater composition. Can you 1 key with him? I'm sure you can. There's, I could put Toxic on my Maneaters or my Painkeepers and get a lot more damage that way. I don't have my Maneaters like fully stacked out. There's lots of room to improve that. It's definitely a 1 key champion if you wanted to, and he doesn't have the best Relentless gear, right? It's the best I have. It's just not the best. So definitely there's ways to make him work, and you don't have to use Relentless. You could probably, just stack up his attack and damage and crit damage and get really good results that way as well. So there are lots of options and ways to go about, building him and using him for that. But yeah, he's good. You can use him in Relentless. You can use him in Bateater. You can use him anywhere. So that's Jintoro. That's the full clan boss guide I can do for you guys. We brought him into 4 different types of runs. We brought him in traditional teams. We brought him into 2 different unkillable teams. I think you can see this guy is good. He's really good. And I cannot stress this enough. I would be shocked if they do not make a change to his AI. I'm not saying immediately, but at some point they've got to, because the skills just don't make any sense. There's no point cooling down another skill if you can't use it again and again. It doesn't make any sense. So I have a very firm feeling that at some point they're gonna have to rework his kit at least a little bit here. But he's really good. I'm a big fan of him. I think you guys definitely, if you have him, be excited about him. He's worth booking. He's worth leveling up. He's going to be very good in Clan Boss. Is he the best champion for that? I mean, not necessarily, but obviously he does incredibly good raw damage, and he brings you decreased defense and weaken. There's not much more you can really ask for out of a champion. So he's definitely good, definitely worth bringing in. I think he's going to be best in unkillable teams. I think he's obviously very good for traditional teams. It's just going to be harder to keep him alive and have him do damage. That's kind of the balance there. I will say this other thing. You want to put War Master on him. You don't want to put Giant Slayer. Yes, Giant Slayer would work great for that when he gets that 5 hit, but it doesn't happen often enough. If it happened more regularly, then maybe there'd be an argument for Giant Slayer, but right now you're going to want to use War Master on him when you're kitting him out with Masters and stuff. But hopefully this was informative for you guys. I was really actually kind of informed by doing this, so a lot of love there. And many thanks to Plarian for setting up that test account. That was awesome. Ooh, almost forgot. I am going to be live on Twitch today at 12 noon. We're going to be pulling some shards. So if it is Double Sacred event, so if you guys want to come by and check that out, please drop by. There's a link to my Twitch down below, so check that out. Love to have you there. It's always a fun time. But that's it. That's today's video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hit that subscription, like button, notification bell, all that fun stuff. If you enjoyed the music, there's a code Deadwood Jedi down below where you can save 15% with your Soundstripe account. That's all I got. So yeah, till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.